Alright guys, check out this train of thought for a second. The Julian calendar is 13 days behind, as I put up in the last video I just posted. Donald Trump launched this attacks on Syria for the chemical weapons that were supposedly used in that country on Friday the 13th on the Gregorian calendar, which makes it April the 1st on the Julian calendar, April the 1st being April Fool's Day, the day we was looking at for something to happen. Something did happen if you're looking at the Julian calendar. The strikes were launched on Syria. In the iPet Goat video, we have George Bush saying in the beginning, now the "fool me once" in relation to George Bush relates to the weapons of mass destruction that he said was in Iraq, where there was no evidence of it, and George W. Bush and Tony Blair took the decision to invade Iraq in 2003. This time history is repeating itself again, except we're not in Iraq, we're in Syria, with Donald Trump replacing George Bush and Tony Blair being replaced by Theresa May, and an extra character being added to the scene, which is Emmanuel Macron from France. There was no chemical attack. I'm not even don't even need to wait for the OPCW's report on that. I'm pretty sure that's what they're gonna find. The indications are coming from Russia. There was no chemical attack. The indications are from America that the site is being the OPCW is being restricted from the site, and the site is being cleaned up or scrubbed clean of chemical weapons, which all leads to, as I said before, the one conclusion that there was no chemical weapons attack. Fool me once, fool me twice. April the 1st is the day that they launched the attack on Syria, if you're looking at the Julian calendar, which also translates to Friday the 13th, unlucky day. There's a train of thought flowing here that I'm going to continue, but just for a recap, April the 13th, the day Donald Trump launched those strikes on Syria, was actually April the 1st on the Julian calendar, April the 1st being April Fool's Day, April Fool's Day being referenced in the iPet Goat video. Fool me once, fool me twice. The George Bush character is a connection to the weapons of mass destruction that they said Iraq had. Now we're being told that chemical weapons were used in Syria, but we've been shown no evidence of it. And pretty soon, I'm guessing they're going to be saying that there's no evidence of chemical weapons use in Syria, which is going to launch a retaliation from the people involved in that strike, mainly Russia, Iran, Syria, Iraq. They have formed a coalition, and in the background you have China, ever present, doing what it does, building up its military quietly, building up its strategic locations quietly, readying itself for the time when it steps into the war. So I think it's pretty significant that all those connections, even with the mission accomplished coming from Donald Trump after he struck Syria, the same thing George Bush said after he struck Iraq, the same line of weapons of mass destruction, except this time it's chemical weapons. Both times we've had no evidence, but both times have resulted in a strike on the accused countries by, in particular, the United States and the United Kingdom. The payback is coming, I'm pretty sure of that. If it is to come in 11 days' time on May the 1st, May Day, we will see. But as I say, thank you to Dale and thank you to AM for pointing out the Julian calendar. The fact that the strikes took place on April the 1st on the Julian calendar and not April the 13th, which is on the Gregorian calendar, just makes things connect even more with this iPet Goat video. Fool me once, fool me twice. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless.